Greetings to one and all. Welcome to the 10th episode of Staying in the Fight to Defeat Rectum Cancer. My name is Francis Reddy. Thank you for listening in. If you like my videos, please follow, like, and share. As mentioned in the last video, I explained that I wasn't sick when I was admitted into the hospital, but I had to go there so that I can get fed intravenously fluids so that my kidneys are well enough to accept the chemo. And like I said, I wasn't sick. However, I was amongst sick people, and some of them very sick. And a salute to all the nurses out there that work selflessly. Don't get tired of our talks and gibberish and windows and just being disrespectful to them, and they take it on the chin and they continue to do their job diligently. One thing that irritated me the most is some patients taking advantage of the nurses and being disrespectful and being unkind and being rude so that they could get whatever they could get out of this. But at the end of the day, these nurses that were attending to them will either brush it off, but you could see the hurt in their eyes when the patient is being rude. But they know they're there for a job, and then they continue doing their job. A patient would ask for morphine, and the nurse will turn around and say, listen, on your chart, there is no morphine required or recommended, so I cannot give it to you. A doctor has to recommend it, and he writes it on the chart, so when it's time to give the morphine, then I administer it to you. But some patients are just rude, and they would insist and get derogative, and sometimes a nurse will see the need, and then he will phone the doctor and say, listen, patient so-and-so, we recommend that he takes morphine. And then the doctor will say yes, so she would administer that morphine to that patient. And the patient next door will then see this and start a ruckus. But yeah, some patients are very, very, very rude. And yeah, that was the bit of the ugly part of my stay in hospital. And there was an incident. There's a little boy of 16-year-old that came in 2 days after I arrived. And doctors were doing certain tests on him because they just couldn't find what the problem was with him. And whilst I was there, I think he must have taken 7 sachets of blood, but he kept on losing the blood, and each time they checked it, they had to give more blood. So on the 4th day, he just got very sick. As I turned around, he was lying on his side most of the time. He turned around to lie flat on his back. But when I looked up, because the bed was tilted, his eyes started rolling. So I shouted to the person next door. I said, please call the nurses. There's something wrong with this boy. The nurses came and tried to work with him. They closed the curtains. The doctor was called in. He was there for 15-20 minutes. After a while, he just got quiet. And I beckoned to the nurse. I said, is he okay? The nurse said, unfortunately, I think we're losing him. And yes, 45 minutes or so after the incident, little boy passed away. It was such a sad, sad, sad part of my stay in the hospital. In that life is so short, and yet we are arrogant, and yet we are impatient, yet we are rude. And yet there are people that are really suffering and they need help, and we won't allow the caregivers to give that help. Yeah, that was one of the nasties for me in hospital. But in that, I had a good stay. Thank you to all those nurses. Really, I salute you. You guys work tirelessly, and you'll work hard, and you'll don't pull up and complain. I thank you so much. I really do. And I hope there are more people like yourselves out there. Thank you guys. Bye.